Welcome to Rewatch and Rank. On this channel, we rewatch older TV shows, provide a summary and opinion on the episode before ranking each episode against each other. Today's episode is One Punch Man, Season 3, Part 1, Episode 32, Ninja Tale. Episode in a nutshell, brief reminder of what happened in this episode. So the beginning of this episode is dedicated to an epic battle between Flashy Flash and two former ninja who are from the same village that he's from, but a different generation. He's the top of, I think they said the 44th generation, and they're the top two of the 37th generation of this ninja village. Galewind and Hellfire Flame are their names, and they've become monsters in order to try to take out Flashy Flash. And they have this epic battle trying to prove that taking the monster stuff made them stronger, and so now they can defeat Flashy Flash. However, Flashy Flash ends up defeating them in the end. And there are a ton of effects. It's a light show. It's in this beautiful cavern filled with waterfalls and bridges that they have their fight. The second half of the episode is dedicated to Child Emperor, who manages to find the remains of Drive Knight or Metal Knight. Metal Drive Knight? I don't remember his name. But anyways, the robot S-Class hero that had gone ahead and ended up being destroyed. And there he finds, through the remains and his technology, where to find Wagenma, the hostage, and so he then goes to look for him, facing Phoenix Man on the way. Then he defeats the guards, including Raptora, before he eventually ends up facing the sledge jellyfish. And then as he and Wagenma are making their way through the tunnels back to the surface, they encounter G5, which Child Emperor quickly realizes as he uses most of his items is not something that he's going to be able to defeat very easily, and so he manages to distract G5 long enough for him and Wagenma to start to run away, and that's where this episode ends it, with them running away. And that brings us now to our rankings. We have our mostly objective ranking list, using set values to determine the score, followed by the personal ranking list, which is based almost exclusively on entertainment value. So now we come to our mostly objective rank values, and it starts with a single episode supporting character introduction, which is Raptora and the other guards. I couldn't find names for the other guards that were there, but there were about 4 monsters guarding Wagenma, including the sledge jellyfish and then Raptora, who was named. But she was taken out by poison smoke bombs. Whether she reappears again or not, I'm unsure. But at least for now, as far as I can see, she lasted an episode. Then we have our multi-episode supporting character growth, which we've met the Hellfire Flame and Galewind in the previous episode when they approached Sonic. But this time we've revealed their full monster forms, and Hellfire Flame also uses a Fireburst Scatterflash Slash attack. Then we have Phoenix Man that uses a beak attack against Child Emperor, and then the Sledge Jellyfish who uses a Hero Press also against the Child Emperor. And that I'm counting in 2. Obviously the ninja were against Flashy Flash, so that attack is worth 2 points. And then Phoenix Man and Sludge Jellyfish were both attacking Child Emperor, so I'm lumping them together and counting it as another 2 points. Then we have the resolved battles of the episode, and there were 3. There was Flashy Flash versus Galewind and Hellfire Flame. Then we have Child Emperor versus Phoenix Man, and also Child Emperor versus Sludge Jellyfish. The fight against G5 is not resolved yet, as he was fleeing the scene, but is likely to be chased in the next episode. Then we have our multi-season supporting character growth, and this of course has to do with Flashy Flash, who uses a heavy flash slash, and obviously this is the first time we're seeing him really truly fight against opponents. And then the absolute technique Flashy Slash as well. And then we also have Child Emperor, who uses a variety of various tools and technology in order to defeat his battles. Um, and there are far too many to list, but basically his backpack is a treasure trove of gadgets. And all of those together actually bring us to 17, which is above 10, which is our highest score, making this the second 10 out of 10 episode of the season. And as always, when more than one episode has the same score, on the mostly objective list, they're just ranked in episode order. So our season ranking so far for our mostly objective ranking has in first the strategy meeting, this episode coming in second, Ninja Tale, followed by Organism Limits, Monster King, Monster Traits, Counter-Strike, Counterattack Signal, and Motley Heroes in last so far. My personal ranking for this episode, I thought it was a really good episode. The Flashy Flash against the ninjas, the setting was great with the waterfalls and the bridges. It was a light show with all of the different attacks that they did. This is the first time we got to see Flashy Flash fight. Flashy Flash's character design is very appealing, and so that also was fun, and even the ninjas weren't bad as far as character designs were concerned. So the first half of the episode was very amazing, very entertaining. Second half of the episode, like I said, focused more on Child Emperor, and there were times where it was a bit slow because he was kind of wandering through the hallways, then he finds Drive Night, he does this like little computer hacking thing. But once he starts using all of his tools and facing Phoenix Man, facing Sludge Monster and G5 and rescuing the hostage, that was entertaining and it was able to hold attention. And that is ultimately their goal in going there, is to save the hostage, which he has accomplished. So good for him. But at the same time, I don't find Child Emperor super compelling. Wagon Mom is basically a little brat, which honestly, I'm not sure I even care if he's saved or not. Um, and then once again, we didn't get any of like the characters that I personally, as an audience member, care about or want to see. Though, like I said, I do like Flashy Flash's character design, and Child Emperor, it is fun to see all of the different little gadgets that he has. But that being said, I took 1 point off just because of not seeing the characters I really wanted to see, and also because it was a bit boring at times in the second half. But like I said, the first half more than made up for it, and Child Emperor did accomplish his goal, and the gadgets are kind of cool and cute because they're all like kind of childish themed, like toy themed almost, to kind of match the fact that he is still a child. Um, so I did give this a 9 out of 10, which is actually the highest score I've given so far this season. So that does show I did really enjoy this episode, even if it did have some of its flaws. But our personal ranking list so far, Ninja Tail in first, followed by Monster Traits, Counter-Strike, Monster King, Organism Limits, The Strategy Meeting, Counterattack Signal, and then Motley Heroes is in last place for me so far. Bringing us to the series ranking so far, and on our mostly objective ranking, Season 1 is in first, followed by Season 2, the Season 1 and 2 OVAs so far, and then Season 3 Part 1 currently has a score of 60 out of a possible 120. Meanwhile, on the personal ranking side, we had Season 1, Season 2 OVAs, so basically same order as the mostly objective ranking. With Season 3, Part 1 currently at a score of 49 out of a possible 120. But with that, we've now rewatched and ranked One Punch Man Season 3, Part 1, Episode 32, Ninja Tail. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you in the next episode.